So we're starting with commands. As I said, we've got our 2 commands, and we're only talking about the positive ones right now. Just a positive 2 command. So third person singular is going to get us to a verb like rekohe and resikla. Do you understand why your warm-up today was having you use the present tense? Because you need the present tense to do this. So Juan, recoge, Juan, collect. Actually, that's the present tense. If we keep going, it's going to change that to a command. And Juan, recoge, y recicla. So we can say Juan collects, but we also can change it to tell him. With that comma behind Juan, that is implied that we're speaking directly to him. And those are both third person singular forms. Okay? Do you have a question, Aaron? What? Say that again? Right, right. Commands are present tense. Okay, so that is our affirmative 2 commands. Are we ready to keep moving? No. So affirmative 2, third person singular. That's what you got to remember, is third person singular. And that is going to be, or not going to be, you've experienced this before because you did learn these last year when you did your food videos. Do you guys remember doing those? Those were commands. We were telling people what to do to make something. And these are the hardest ones to remember because third person singular for a 2 command is a little different. Now are we ready? Yes? Okay. Here we go. Okay. Are there any irregulars? Of course there are irregulars. In Spanish, almost every grammar concept has some verbs that don't follow the rules. So here we go with some irregulars. You can go ahead and make yourself a list. These are all of the ones that have an irregular. Let's see. Just list those now and fill them in and see if you can remember any of these from last year. I'll give you a chance to write them down now. I might give you one to get you started. Salud. Can anybody remember? Anybody want to volunteer to throw out one of these? What's that? Decir goes to D. Anybody got any others now that we got that one out? Just D. What about hacer or poner? Poner is an easy one. How do you say set the table? Pone, yes. So our irregulars are very short because they're easy to say. You know how when your mom is rattling off, do this, set the table, make your bed. You know, you're trying to get things out quickly. So you can think of that as your irregulars are nice and short and sweet. So they can be said with, not vengeance, said with emphasis. It's normally what, Aaron?
Normally anger. Seems that way.
That seems to be the trend with people. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves is when I tell someone to do something, I expect them to do it at that time. If I have to ask again, it's not pretty. You guys have that problem? Mm-hmm. I think it's human nature.
My mom always tells me to do stuff when I'm like most I know.
Well, that's whenever she thinks of it, she's like, "Ugh, there you are, lounging, and I'm over here folding towels. Go do something.
It's like Michaela is comfortable. Not in this house.
Okay, so then she spouts out, what would be a command that she would tell you to do in Espanol? Haz la cama? Did she tell you to make your bed?
No, she never told me to make my bed.
No.
She told me to clean the bathroom.
Okay. Limpiar goes to limpi, third person singular. Limpia.
Limpia.
Limpia. Limpia tu cuarto.
El baño.
Oh, el baño. Que divertido. The old bathroom. No one likes to clean that.
Yeah, and I have to share with my little brother. I think he should clean it because I'm not the one that pees on the seat.
Anyways. Ve a la tienda. Go to the store. Di la verdad. Tell the truth. Those are some examples of our commands. Are we good with our positives? Now we have our positive regulars, which was like limpia. Now we have our negatives, which are di, as, be, pon, etc. And now we're ready for our negative commands. Go ahead and start that up. What? Scissors? You came to me for scissors?
I mean, yeah. This is the closest room because we're in the teacher's
Oh,
room.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Negative two commands. Negative two commands are completely different than positive two commands. These are going to have what I call 3 steps. The first thing that you have to do is go to the yo form. That is step 1. That's first, my little degree symbol up there. First thing is go to the yo form. The second thing is, you guys remember this. Chop the O. And the third step, we call that the what ending? If it was an AR verb, it's going to ES, which kind of looks like the opposite vowel. So the third thing is add opposite vowel ending. So AR verbs all go to ES. ER/IR verbs are going to go to AS.
And this is only with 2, right?
Only with negative twos.
Yeah.
Now, what we're not going to cover today, but you guys might remember, is usted and ustedes commands actually do the same process of 3 steps, but they go to, like, instead of AS and ES, gracias, thank you, they will go to, for an usted, it'll just be an E and an A, or an A and an A, and then for ustedes, it's an N and an an. But we don't have to worry about that right now, because we're just talking about positive twos and negative twos. Think there's any irregulars? What's the yo form of ear? What is it? How do you say I go? Boy, right? Fui's past tense, that's right. But in the present tense, it's boy. Can you chop an O when there's an OY? Probably not. It's probably one of our irregulars. So, let's look at them. We're going to talk about 4 of them.
But not all of them.
This 4 is pretty much all of them. There are some other things that happen, but these are the ones that are flat out irregular. The others just have little quirks in some of them. they're still going to look with, like they have their opposite endings. Here they are. Dar goes to des. A star picks up an accent there. And I did that too dark. I'm sorry. I'll erase it. Has the accent over the E so it doesn't get confused with other words. Ir goes to vayas and ser goes to sayas. Like everything else, how do you know these? You memorize them, right? The more you see them, the more you use them, the more you're going to remember them. And of course, just flat out.
That's in the 2 form.
And these are in the 2 form.
So are we gonna have to know all of it? I guess it's the same thing.
They now that you know these as irregulars, when we get to usted and ustedes, they're going to be the same pattern. It just won't have an S on them. Like the usted would be de and the ustedes would be den. And actually, you're going to learn.
Why are we only doing 2? Or like, why is it only 2? You know what I mean?
The book just wanted to break it down to smaller pieces so you don't have to know all of it all at once. Eventually, it'll come to that. All right. So these are our irregular, negative 2 commands. We went through positive 2 commands, positive irregular 2 commands, negative 2 commands, negative irregulars, and this is what we have. Any preguntas right now? Okay. Abran los textos. Go ahead and open up your books.